Hey going on everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles back again for another Transformers Masterpiece review, and what a long wait it has been for this incredible figure here, MP-20 Wheeljack. It's been about maybe a year since we've had a unique mold of a Transformer in the Masterpiece line, so that probably goes back to MP-17 Prowl, and we've had, you know, the repaints in 18 and 19 and a couple of the there's MP-12G and MP-18S as well, so we've been on the repaint milk train for a while, but finally we have Wheeljack in hand, and I gotta say, if you're a G1 fan, this is an absolute must-have, and it's friggin' awesome. I'll just give you guys a quick look at the box. So you get the usual artwork now with the Lancia logo. And if you've ever seen photos of the Stratos on the web with this particular car, you'll pretty much notice that this is a gorgeous likeness. It's almost uncanny how realistic that looks. And I'm just so glad that Takara have put so much effort into getting these official licenses. I mean, you know, it takes a lot of money, balls, and talent to get these official licenses. So Takara is probably one of the few companies in the world that can pull this sort of stuff off. And I guess if you're watching this, you might be aware of the Hot Toys Star Wars announcement, and I wanted to be blown away by their first announcement in that line. And if you've seen the Chewbacca and Han Solo photos, that's just another example of how a company with such talent and balls can get a license and take it and do some amazing stuff. But anyway, sorry, I digress there a bit. That's a subject for another video. But onto this this bad boy here. So I'll just give a quick rundown of the accessories. This came with the Amazon exclusive, I think it's the anti-hypnosis device that he used in one of the episodes where some of the Autobots got overtaken. So there's some instructions on how to put it in the hand. And the sculpting and paint app itself is pretty good. It's some sort of metallic aqua type color, so it's got a bit of metallic sheen to it, which is pretty nice. But overall, nothing too spectacular, but a nice addition to have anyway. You get his little blaster pistol, which is fairly nicely painted in metallic silver, and you get his rocket launcher, which you just put that in like so. And I haven't actually squeezed that in yet, so I'll give that a go a bit later, but pretty much put that in there and put it on his shoulder. Now Takara, unlike the other cars, they've actually provided some spare rear view mirrors, and as you can see on the car out of the box, it doesn't actually come with those inserted. You get two of these, and I've just unsnapped them at the end there, and you insert them in, and they're pretty tight, easy to go in, and they sort of just click in, so no issue there. So that's a nice little touch, I think. You get this card, the collector card, which I'm loving. I've got mine displayed just on the other shelf over there, so I won't bother showing you guys. But you just open that up, and I love the Hasbro Asia misspelling there, Wheeljack. But thank God they didn't screw up the coin itself, so the coin does say Wheeljack. So thank God they only did that on the packaging, because I'll be ripping that apart anyway, and chucking it away and keeping the coin and displaying it with the rest. So I'll get that out of the way. It comes with the usual collector card that I've already put in the Ultra Pro magnetic holders for protection. And it is the same sort of awesomeness, so the same sort of box art on the front, sort of. Actually, I thought there was a picture of him on the box, but no, there probably isn't. So that's probably the, I think out of the Masterpiece art book, I think they use those as the initial design drawings. So they do look slightly different to the figure, but overall it's pretty accurate. So there's the nice collector card. Comes with the instruction manual, which which straight off looks a little bit smaller than the others that they've included. So I'm not just sure if that's the way they folded it or what, but I'll be following these shortly and trying to transform him for the first time, which I haven't yet done. But just looking at the car itself, that is just unbelievable. I'll just let you appreciate that without my boring monotone. Unbelievable. I love it. And that's a very clean underside as well. So the others, you can sort of tell that there are arms and a whole bunch of other robot type forms in there, but this one looks very clean. So the Takara designers, I think led by Shogo Hasui, which did the designs from MP-10 onwards till now, have done an absolutely amazing job. Now for those wondering, it is white plastic. There's very little white paint. I think the areas back here that are a little bit reflective are painted white. So that's white paint there. There's a little bit of white paint here. But everywhere else it's white plastic, which initially I thought would suck. But on the face of it, it actually looks really nice and doesn't really detract away from the overall aesthetic of the figure at all. And I think if they had painted everything white, there probably would have been so many damn paint app issues that it probably wouldn't have been worth their while doing. So I'm assuming that's part of the thought process they went through to keep it with the white plastic. But the paint app itself on the red and the green stripes here, everything else looks pretty damn clean. So I can't really complain too much about that at all. Even the wheels, the red on the wheels looks unbelievable. And this is probably one of the first MP cars that actually rolls really nicely on all four wheels. So you can sort of, all the wheels rotate nicely and it runs nicely. I mean, on my Sideswipe and the Nissan molds, there's always a little bit of different distances on the wheels, and so they all sort of don't align very well. So I'll give you a quick look in comparison against the other alt modes while I've got him here. So here's Tiger Track and Silver Streak, and you can have a look at that sort of scale. And let me just hold them up. They're not exactly the same sort of height, but pretty damn close actually. And the width wise, I think Wheeljack's probably a little bit wider, but again that's probably due to the actual car design itself. So here is tire tracks, so that height there, and the Lambo is probably just slightly longer even, and the width wise pretty damn perfect. So on a scale perspective, all of these MP cars just look outstanding together. I've got the others still displayed in bot mode, so I'll give you guys a comparison once I transform this guy. I'll give it a go off camera first, just to get used to it, and then I'll try it on camera. And if you've watched my other videos, you'll know how bad I am at transforming on camera. So I'll give it a go, but don't be surprised if I give up. So I'll be back with you guys in a bit. Before I transform him into bot mode, I will show you there is a gimmick that I noticed in the instruction book where you can put his little gun on the underside. So you can see a little slot there that you pretty much just slot the gun into like so. So I think it's a slot that you would hold, slot him into the hands, but here you slot him on the underside, and I'm assuming that then sort of replicates an exhaust pipe or something like that. So and it still rolls pretty well with it. So I guess that's a neat little gimmick if you want to display it in alt mode. So I'll be back with you guys in a second with the transformation. Alright, so I've tried the transformation, and there's probably only one component of the transformation that really is rather difficult, and I had a bit of trouble figuring out what to do, but that's towards the end, so I'll get started now. So to first off, you pretty much just move these feet out. So they're on some sort of hinge joint. You sort of maneuver it out like so. So you can see the joints there. So you pretty much just do that. And then you can pretty much disassemble the rest of the body. And the great thing about this transformation is that pretty much everything tabs into place somewhere. So if you sort of gently untab things, like you can see a tab here, there's a tab underneath as well somewhere. In this section here, so you pretty much just untab everything, and it's all tight and nicely fitted. So the next thing you do here is just unhinge this windscreen here, like so. So you unhinge that, and that allows you to move the legs up, and then you just move the legs down like so. And you then just extend the legs out until they click, and so that's the legs fully extended. And this whole section here, you pretty much fold that down, and you just bring that whole section up and back. So it sort of looks like that, I guess. Okay, and then what you see here is you see a little peg in here, and that goes into that slot there. So you pretty much fold that down, and I won't bother trying to peg it into place right now, but I will get to that in a second. So you can sort of see the legs forming there, so that's all pretty cool. And you go to the feet, and I love the way they've done the feet. So you sort of make it so that that joint is pretty much as vertical as you can make it, or horizontal, depending on how you want to look at it. And you get it like that, which is pretty good. And then on this side you do the same thing, and get it like so. So they're like that. And there you see them forming there. So then the next step is you take these flaps here and rotate them all the way around, and again you'll see that you've done it right if once you rotate, that tab there goes into that slot there. So if I just do that, I haven't got it straight, so that's not going to fit. Hold on a second. Okay, right, so you see that the tab is now inside, so that's all nicely horizontal there. So on this side here, you can see that it's fairly nicely horizontal, and if I swing this around, it tabs quite nicely into place, like so. And there you have most of his feet. And the next step is you turn him around. You've got these things here, so you rotate these up. So you rotate that up, and this whole section then rotates down via that hinge there. So that rotates down, and it rotates down, and then I think these just fold in like that, and again you'll see there is a tab there, that circular tab in the hole underneath, and you pretty much just if I can just push it in, and you push it in like so, and the same on this particular side. You rotate that around until you see that slot, and you squeeze that in. And that is how his feet look. So that to me is a really nicely engineered transformation of the feet, and they look pretty good on all angles. You know, people were complaining about the sort of gap here, but I'm not too fussed about that at all. So I think they look pretty damn cool. So on to the top part, you pretty much, let's get back to this tab thing here. So that's his waist, and you pretty much fold that down until you hear that click, and then that waist is firmly in, and then you just, let me just put that up, you fold that down, and you will see his head sculpt in a second, which is pretty awesome. Although with mine I do have one issue where I am gonna have to go back to the retailer and ask them to see if they can swap it out and give me a new faceplate, because if you look at that, there is a pretty bad mark on the right hand side of him there, which normally I'm not too fussed. There's probably a couple of scuff marks there, but with Wheeljack and his head sculpt being fairly iconic, I don't think I'll be able to handle that sort of mark. It's not a smudge that I can sort of rub off, it's the silver paint there, the metallic silver paint's rubbed off. So I'll see if the retailer can give me a replacement, because I'll show you guys later the head itself has a little screw at the back, and once you take off the screw this whole faceplate will come off, but we'll get onto that a little bit later. What do we do now? So we've taken the head sculpt out. You pretty much then, if I just zoom back out, this thing here is on a spring load, so that sort of just comes off, and then you break apart the shoulders here, I think. Oh no, you flip this down here, so this thing is keeping his wings in place, so you sort of just flick that down, and then you can then rotate. If you hold, I'll get the camera in there, if you can sort of rotate or keep that up, you can just rotate the shoulders out like so. And then what you need to do is make sure the wings are actually raised like so, and initially they are very fragile, so be very careful when you're moving them for the first time. I've sort of moved them a couple of times now, so what you then do is you might as well just rotate them around, so they're on a little hinge thing there, and so you can just keep that out of the way and just rotate them around like that, which you'll need to do either now or a bit later. So I tend to like to do it now just to get it out of the way. So then these were up, and now you can sort of fold them in like so, and I think this is the section that caused me the most grief. So first up, let's just fold their arms out. So you fold their arms out like so. Now the next thing you're supposed to do is fold this whole back section up into his torso area here, and it's all based around this hinge. Now when I first did it and I bent it down like that, as you can see, it bends on this upper part, and if it does bend on the upper part, there's not enough clearance on the underside here for these pieces to go into the torso. So it took me forever to figure out that in actual fact this part here is actually two hinges. There's one right at the back of the neck that folds down like that, and then there's the section that's just in front of it that should be folding up instead when you're trying to put this in. So if I can just demonstrate that now. See, now I can't even do that on camera because it's so hard to get that to bend on its own. So you can see I'm trying to bend it. So let me just pause and stop halfway through off camera and give you guys a look. Alright, so you can see here that this part here is bent now, whereas it's flat at the top. So it's a matter of trying to hold this thing here and push it all the way in. And as you can see, it's still trying to bend. But I'll keep trying and get back to you guys in a second. Alright, so I managed to do it. So you see how that back part is effectively flush and it's bent at that joint right there. So when that happens, you have enough clearance to get the shoulder area or torso area here back over the hips. Otherwise there's not enough clearance. So I struggled with that for ages, and I still couldn't do it on camera. And what you'll find is there are a couple of probably easier on this side maybe. There are a couple of slots here where you sort of think that they might tab into here, but I don't think they do, and that just might be for a bit of clearance there. So I thought they were going to tab in, but the instructions don't say anything about it, so they might not necessarily need to tab in. And once that's done, you see this little slot tab here goes into the little slot in the back there. So you just push that in and that holds in nicely. And then there is another tab here which then sort of just holds that backpack in place quite nicely. So that looks pretty awesome from the back, and all you then do is straighten those out gently and bend them up so they're at the right angle, like that. And then onto the arms. So the arms here, let me just stand him up here. So the arms, you pretty much do the same on both sides. You just grab this piece and rotate it around. Same with this. So you rotate that around, and then you turn that 180 degrees. Turn this 180 degrees. You can then fold this little piece down and then that piece down. That little piece here. That little piece there. And what else? And then you turn his fists, I think, 180 degrees. Turn his fists 180 degrees. And fold the arms down, and that's pretty much it. Fold the arms down, and there you have bot mode Wheeljack. So just hold on. So there you have it in bot mode, and he is friggin' awesome. The articulation on this guy is perfect everywhere. So let me just get a bit closer. The head sculpt, you can make it look up quite a long way. 360 rotation, so that is beautiful head sculpt there. So apart from the paint app issue that I'll need to chase up, everything else is pretty much perfect on that head. The arms, there's lots of articulation there. Rotate the elbow. What else? Hips have a huge range of motion, so you can swing him all the way back, forward. Just might need to be a bit careful of the torso area there. Knee joint, and I love the ankle rocker. That's just beautiful design. So there's a little hinge there, so you can really get him into some wide stances and still have him with his feet flat on the ground, which is pretty awesome. And I think I've even seen on web with people putting him in kneeling poses and all sorts of stuff. So all the joints are nice and tight and smooth, so no issues there. Rotation there. What else? So that's all the articulation. His rocket cannon, so there's a slot there that you have on both sides. So normally I think he has it on the right shoulder. So there you have it. And his gun. Now the hands I think are slightly different. Oh no, pretty much the same. You open that up and there's little tabs that you see there. Actually, I can't see how that tabs in. So maybe this time it just sort of, he just sort of holds it. So let me see that. And holds it like that. That doesn't seem like a very tight fit. So I'm not sure how the gun is supposed to fit into his hand there. Just let me check the instructions. No, the gun pretty much works the same way. So there is a slot right at the back there. And as you can see, the gun sort of fits fairly well in that slot. So you can see the slot right there. Fits in pretty nicely, and then you just fold the fist over it. And this time it holds the gun pretty perfectly straight, unlike the some of the Nissans, which didn't hold them too straight. What else is there? I think the anti-hypnosis device. I think you just fold his hand out and clasp it through, I think, or something along those lines. You sort of get the idea. Almost looks like he's holding a lunchbox. But I'll quickly grab the others in bot mode and give you a size comparison with the others in bot mode. Alright, so here you see him with sideswipe and prowl, and the scale is pretty much perfect. So I love how they're in scale in bot mode and in alt mode. It's some incredible feat of engineering, to be honest, and together they all look pretty damn incredible. If you're a G1 Transformers fan, I don't think there's anything better out there at the moment than this masterpiece line. You know, just look at Prowl. I mean, and the rest of them. I mean, if they continue on and do the rest of the season 1 cast, that'll be one heck of a display in anyone's collection. So if you're still looking for this piece, apparently they made quite a lot based on the pre-orders, so he shouldn't be hard to find. So places like Big Bad Toy Store, Robot Kingdom, Hobbylink Japan, so many online retailers would have him in stock right now. So definitely jump on. I think I got him for about $55 plus shipping, but apparently from a lot of the Asian sellers you can probably get it cheaper than that. So definitely jump on board, because once he does sell out, all of these MPs normally skyrocket in price. So from every angle, this guy is just G1 pure awesomeness. So I can't rave on any more about this guy than I already have. Engineering and design is just top notch. So I hope you guys like that. I'm not sure how long the video will run for now, but it probably won't be as short as I hoped. But I hope you guys like that look, and you can click that subscribe button. I've got a whole bunch of reviews still coming up in 1/6 scale, and Bumblebee and Ultra Magnus in the MP line as well coming up soon. So stay tuned for all that, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers, bye.